Hello and welcome to the Inferno podcast. Wow, we are on episode 25 already. I named this the Inferno. I always put the flame on there. It initially began with the feeding of the good wolf, the bad wolf. So this was inspired by me after being 12 years bamboozled by a toxic narcissist. I will be addressing some comments that I've been getting on the channel, one in particular in the near future, because we want to make sure that we're not just calling every person that the relationship ends a narcissist. No, you have to meet some very specific criterias to go, yes, this person's a narcissist. So I'm not here to bash the opposite sex. So if you're tuned in to listen to the one comment that I got, I will address your comment. I'll pull it up on the screen here in the near future. So I digress. Welcome to my channel. I hope you find it helpful. This is episode 25 of the Inferno. Today we're going to talk about the fact that a narcissist is merely an opportunist. They have zero self-control. They have zero integrity. And they have zero loyalty to you. So if you've been in a relationship with, or you are currently in, and you believe that you may be dealing with a toxic narcissist, you will know it by the time that you get out of it. So whether they discard and disengage you, or you wake up and realize that you have been in an abusive relationship, the awareness of it as you come out of the fog is very alarming. So there's plenty of videos on my Inferno podcast here, and there's many more to come once his divorce is finalized and the legal end of it is done. So today's episode 25, the Opportunist. They will step on your throat. If you work with a narcissist, they will cutthroat you. They will one-up you at work to step up with this temporary elevation. They don't care who you are. Again, if you were married to one like I have been, the loyalty is not there. No matter how good you are to them is irrelevant. They are going to be the opportunist slime bags that they are. Whether they go to the store and somebody gives them a little bit of an attention or eye contact, whether they're at work and somebody fancies them, which is what happened in the situation that I was tragically in for 12 years. They do not care about anybody else but themselves and their self-gratification that they can get in the moment. They're very impulsive. They do not care what the ripple effect of it is for others. Specifically others, they only care about the very fleshly things that they can temporarily feel satisfied in. So it's a very selfish behavior, as we know. Narcissists are very selfish, and they do it to gain, temporary satisfaction, whether it be, a new shiny whatever, whether it's a person, an animal, a co-worker, a spouse, it's irrelevant to them. They have zero self-control because they choose to not. Again, like they lack that protection. I was reading somewhere recently how self-control in the biblical sense is actually our defense against fleshly things like lust, betrayal, and it just really was an aha moment for me. They'll take the opportunity to work out of town away from you. That was what I experienced. They will work out of town away from you because it's easier for them to lie, cheat, and manipulate when they're thousands of miles away from you. They will take opportunities to pick fights with you. I know this with gaining a lot of friends and whatnot throughout my journey, that a lot of them have the same story of how their toxic ex narcissist would pick fights with them so they could go leave the house and go be with their next little fix. They will take the opportunity to excuse themselves and go to the bathroom and sext and text with their other supply, which is exactly what my ex was doing. They'll take the opportunity to keep their work schedule quiet from you so that they can go and be with their other supply before work, during work, after work. So they're opportunists, and they're very dog eat dog. They put themselves up on a superficial pedestal. They think they can one-up you and exploit you. And once they're done with you and they're done using whatever the resources are that you provided for them, whether it be, holding them up high on a pedestal, whether it be a place to live, they're opportunist. Many of the, I was reflecting back on this too, because when I was initially aware that I was cheated on by my husband back in 2015, had this bimbo not lived in a camper and had her own house, he probably would have bounced off for her for a while, but she didn't have a home. So just so happens to be, I didn't realize he was a covert narcissist / sociopath at the time. And they will take the opportunity as well to bamboozle you, to future fake you. I'll be doing an upcoming video on that. There's plenty of videos out there about narcissism. But what made me even realize what I was dealing with was after the very cold and brutal blindsiding discard that happened by my fake husband of 12 years. And then I'm just like, why would a husband just abruptly leave without, really any good reason? And that was because what opened my eyes to, like, holy shit, you've been in a freaking situationship with a toxic narcissist abuser. They do not care about you. They have no loyalty to you. So no matter how well of a man or a woman you are to this person, they don't care, because they have no loyalty to you. They will exploit, use, abuse, rinse, repeat. They can't get enough of it because there's such an empty void within them, and they're not willing to go inner reflect and fill that void through the Holy Spirit, God, creator of the universe, within them. So they lack consistency. For me, for instance, there was a changed behavior temporarily within this person where they quit drinking for a while. He got a steady job locally and wasn't working out of town anymore. But then it all started going backwards again. So they lack consistency. They'll go back into that vibration again because, like I've said on other podcasts, they do not do well in stability, and it becomes very boring for them. Their minds are overactive. A lot of them sleep like shit. And now I know why. It's because if you're not numbing out, trifling, trying to scheme and manipulate and exploit others, then they're not content. And what the lack of sleep is a spiritual thing, but they're not willing to look at that, which is from them having a conscience that they do not listen to. Right? Because I feel wholeheartedly that we all have that inner compass and moral compass within ourselves. But the difference between somebody who chooses to continue on the path of narcissism and full on be a narcissist is they won't listen to that God voice within them that we all have. A lot of them have other addictions other than just from getting supply and exploiting others and hurting others. They also have, porn addictions, alcohol addictions, addiction to social media and all the private messaging there. So whatever it is they're just taking advantage of and exploiting other people. So again, some of the things that they will do is like pick fights with you and leave. For instance, I didn't deal with that part. And the reason I didn't is because this person just was saying that he was working. And, I started catching on to this when the Holy Spirit woke me up really early one morning, and my husband at the time's vehicle was gone super early. So I was guided for that. Listen to the Holy Spirit within you, because the darkness will be revealed to you. They'll go and meet up with this other supply while you're still home in bed. You're supposed to be their husband or wife, and they're off going to their new supply's house, meeting up at gas stations, meeting up at work on breaks, meeting up after work. So they will do, they're dog eat dog. They're opportunist. If there's an opportunity there for them and they're going to get some sort of immediate self gratification, temporary hits of dopamine, they are going to take it. They are adrenaline junkies, but not in the good way. So remember that they always lack consistency. So that's one thing that a lot of people talk about with a true narcissist is they're hot cold. One minute they're loving you, fake loving you, elevating you, future faking you about the future, and then the next minute they're dropping back down cold. So they lack consistency. Like I said, I didn't really experience the fighting because I was with a covert sociopath. I wasn't with an overt one that was very in your face and vocal. He was more quiet, passive aggressive, sneaky. Again, taking that opportunity to go in the bathroom. A lot of them have more than one phone. I'll be doing an episode coming up on, as of right now, I think it's episode 28 on the cell phone of a narcissist and all the little tricks and sneaky shit they do there. But just know this, no matter how good you were or are currently, if you're still in the situation with them, to please trust your God-given intuition, because the Holy Spirit will reveal to you what they are doing. Trust their actions, and if their words and actions are not lining up, chances are they're a shape-shifting opportunist that will kick you while you're down. They will take all of your beautiful traits of empathy, they'll use it against you. They will take your kindness and manipulate that for their benefit. They're just opportunists who do not give a shit about you, and ultimately they really don't care about themselves neither. They're very step on your neck, dog eat dog. I know my ex used to say shit that I don't even know why I allowed to be so passive about it. You know, the survival of the fittest mentality. That's just a dog eat dog. Very dog eat dog. An opportunist. Here's another thing that I missed. This person would, when we were together in a public place, would never give eye contact to the opposite sex, which I always thought was really fucking weird. I look back at it now and go, yeah, you couldn't look up. I can look at male or female and go, wow, very attractive person, and not be thinking that it's an opportunity to me. Just me wholeheartedly go, wow, they're a beautiful person. This narcissist and any narcissist can't do that. They can't, especially if they're face to face with you. Like some of them, if they're overt, they'll flirt right in front of you. But when they're a covert and they're a little coward like that, they're very immature. They can't allow themselves to look at something that's beautiful and not see it as lust or an opportunity. So I always thought it was really freaking bizarre. I always noticed it but never said much about it, and now it makes sense to me now that I'm out of the fog that, you know, what we take in through our eyes is very important. But if you're seeing everything like a narcissist does to exploit other people, they have no problem whatsoever hooking up with prostitutes. They have no problem screwing their coworkers and coming home to you after work. So if there's an opportunity there, and there's so many people out there that are so ignorant that'll play the game with them, you know, they'll sit on the couch with you and be sitting there texting some other supply right in the same room. And if it gets really heated and they can't handle it and they got to go in the bathroom and get their rocks off, like my ex-husband was doing, he was sending dick pics. She was playing right back with it. And again, like I've said on other episodes, if the other person knew that you were married and they played the game to try to destroy you with your spouse, good luck with that. Talk about the fucking Inferno, right? So, there's a good vibe of being an opportunist, and there's a low vibe of it. And when it's dog eat dog, cutthroat, no loyalty, no self-control, then that's just flat out evil. And let's start calling these narcissists what they are. That's what they are. They're here to destroy you and deceive you, and they could give two shits less how it affects you, because you're not a feeling human being to them. They're users. So here's a very fitting one to sum this up from Proverbs 25:28. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. So self-control guards us against things that are fleshly, that will ultimately self-destruct us. This is to the commenter that I haven't addressed in a video yet. A healthy breakup is respectful and honorable and communicated in that manner. A toxic ending with a narcissist is when they're done abusing you. You'll get no closure from them. They will lie, they'll deceive. Had a healthy person come to you like a real man, like a real woman, and says to their spouse, look, I'm feeling some temptation, right? Temptation podcast, the Inferno. I'm feeling some lust. I'm feeling doubtful in myself, in our marriage. A healthy woman, a mature, healthy, virtuous man would come to their spouse so that they could help with the self-control, so that they could help guide their partner in the right direction, not only for themselves, but the marriage. So some say that self-control is like a wall against temptation, helping people resist until the temptation passes. I found that very profound. So to me, back to the narcissist, sociopath, toxic person is an opportunist. They exploit circumstances and people for immediate satisfaction, to take advantage of an impulsive moment that they may be in temptation. So again, let's read this one more time. From Proverbs 25:28, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. So here it is, I'm wide open. I don't guard my heart. I don't have healthy boundaries. I'm just out to exploit and take opportunities for a moment of self-satisfaction that's never going to be fulfilling long term. But some say that self-control is like a wall against temptation, helping people resist until their temptation passes. Think about that. And it's all a matter of choice. Are you a good person feeding the good wolf? Or are you a shitty evil person who's feeding the bad wolf, stepping on the necks of others, exploiting and hurting and leaving paths of destruction behind? It's your choice. There's just a center lane. Again, I hope this was helpful. Episode 25, The Opportunist. I want to tell you to feed the good wolf and be an opportunist that takes advantage of the hurt, the betrayal, the post-traumatic stress left behind by a narcissist, and pay that forward for a better you and helping other people to rise up out of that. We all deserve much better than that. Much love to you. Shalom, shalom.